Hi students. Today our lesson is a little bit different. It is your introduction to statistics and probability. Your target question is similar to your learning target, and it's how can you use a sample to gain information about a population. So this video is going to be a little bit different than what we're used to, but just go ahead and watch it and come to class tomorrow with any questions. So first we're going to go through these definitions, and we talked about these a little bit last semester, but we're going to go through them again. A population is an entire group of objects, individuals, or events. A sample is a part of the population chosen to represent the entire group. A random sample, we talked about a lot, is a sample in which every person, object, or event has an equal chance at being selected. And then a biased sample is when a sample does not accurately represent a population. Okay, we'll talk about the driving question in just a little bit. So today's video is basically to introduce the next concept that we'll be working on in class for this week. So to begin, we're just going to start looking at these questions. The first one is Carol wants to find out the favorite foods of students at her middle school. She asked the boys' basketball team about their favorite foods. And the question is this a biased or non-biased sample? So if you think about it, we have to look for the information about who she asked. Well, first of all, what she wants to find out. She wants to find out the favorite foods of her students at a middle school. This is her population. It's a middle school. But she chooses just the boys' basketball team to ask. And they want to know, is this a biased or non-biased sample? Basically, you have to ask yourself, does the boys' basketball team represent the entire middle school? In other words, will the boys' basketball team, will their opinions reflect what the general opinion of the entire middle school is? If it is, then it's a non-biased sample, but if it does not, then this is a biased sample, meaning that they didn't ask enough people in order to generate whether or not this favorite food would be representative of the entire middle school. Okay, so this one is biased, and I'm going to just write a B for biased. Okay, then the next one is Nancy hears a report that the average price of gasoline is $2.82. She averages the prices of stations near her home, and she finds the average price of gas to be $3.03. Why are the averages different? So this one, what's happening here, just go ahead and think about it. Why could it be different? Nancy's noticing that maybe she heard this on the news or something, that $2.82 is the average price of gas. Well, if that was a national news station, national means that it's across the nation. It's the average price of gas from California all the way to New York, for example. And then she's averaging the prices of station near her home, only near her home. And that's when she finds that it's $3.03 a gallon. That's why the averages are different. She chose a smaller sample. She chose a small sample just near her home, where this report is saying that the average price is $2.82. That's because this report is from a larger sample. Does that make sense? So when we're talking about surveys, all surveys have a purpose. Every survey has some sort of purpose. And I want you to answer this question. What do you think? What is the purpose of surveys? Or sometimes, what are the purposes of surveys? What do they do? Why do we use them? Take a moment and pause the video and go ahead and write your answer in this blank. Just what do you think? There's no right or wrong answers. What do you think? Okay, so now we're going to jump over to our driving question. And before we go forward, this is the driving question definition, and this is something that a term that I use. It's not a term that's in your book. And the driving question is the purpose behind your survey. It's the reason why you are creating a survey, or the reason why you are giving a survey. It's usually some question that you want answered, and you want to know, maybe you notice something and you want to know why it's that way. That is what's going to help you derive or create your driving question. So tomorrow in class, you will have the opportunity to generate a driving question, and it's going to be for a survey that you will actually be distributing to people. So I want you to use this space below to kind of brainstorm and create a driving question. To help you start, you're going to say, I want to know blank. I want to know what what the maybe it could be 7-year-old's favorite puppies are, or I want to know what um, the city of Temecula's favorite restaurant is, or I want to know something. It has to be something that you can ask a question about, and that's kind of your next step. What questions would you need to ask in order to answer that driving question? Write those below. Maybe it would be, do you like, if you're trying to figure out what kind of dogs are favorite at the middle school, you could say, do you like Labradors? Do you like poodles? Do you like schnauzers? And so on and so forth. And asking different questions to see which students do and do not like different breeds. It could be anything you want to know at all. It does not have to be something academically related, but it's best if you could have something that's numerically represented. For example, maybe someone wants to know why so many people are late during first period. Maybe your hypothesis is, well, maybe they don't give themselves enough time to wake up in the morning. So you can say, ask your population, how long do you give yourself to get ready in the morning? And they'll give you numbers instead of a yes or no question. Or you can say, what is, or maybe people aren't getting enough sleep at night. You could say, what time do you go to bed at night? Or how much sleep do you get every night? For different things like that. It's some sort of question that you want answered that you're going to be able to ask other people for and form a hypothesis on why, or form a hypothesis to the answer to this question. So just to refresh again, you're going to create a driving question right here. I want to know something. You're going to put it in the blank. And then you're going to brainstorm some questions below that you could ask your sample population and see, just to see if you can answer that question. If you are lost on this part, just do your best to brainstorm this section. We are going to go over this in class a lot and spend most of class tomorrow creating surveys that we're going to actually be distributing. So go ahead and make sure you use your time wisely today to complete this. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me.